Hello, and thank you for taking the time to view this video. My name is Kawisi Grant, and I am the founder and creator of followgrantslife.com. This video is specifically for the pastors, reverends, ministers, and church members that I have sent an email to requesting for some help. To give you a little background on myself, I'm 36 years old. I live with my fiance and her two children in Cape Coral, Florida. I've been a barber for the last 10 years, but I never got my license, and now the state is cracking down on unlicensed barbers, which means that I can't work. My fiance just had a baby, and she just went back to work last week. On March 22nd of this year, we received an eviction notice. We owe $1,650, and for the past 2 weeks, we have had no running water in our home, which means that we have to buy bottled water to bathe with, wash our dishes, and flush the toilet with. We have gone and sought assistance from every possible avenue that we could. We've gone to Lee County Services, Salvation Army, and many, many other organizations, and we have received no relief. Today, we decided to call the churches and to ask for help. And the truth is, many of the churches that we spoke to treated us very badly. Many of their responses were, "We only take care of our own members." I grew up in a God-fearing home, and I'm not gonna lie to you that I don't really attend church these days because I kind of lost hope, to be quite frank with you. If you log onto my website and read my blogs, you will know that this entire situation has kind of given me some degree of hope that the possibility exists that I can overcome this obstacle. I remember my grandmother telling me the story of Jesus, that he said, if you look at a mountain and had the faith the size of a mustard seed, you could say to that mountain, "Be ye moved," and it will move. Today, I have a mountain of debt in front of me, an eviction notice, no water for our family, and I have a seed of faith in asking you for your help. I have also written you a letter, an open letter that you can find on my website, followgrantslife.com, and I will be sending it out to you personally. And here's what I'm asking for. I will be sending this letter out to over 200 churches in the Fort Myers, Cape Coral area. I understand that our debt is very, very steep, so I'm not asking for one particular church, congregation, or member to help us out. I understand that we are living in a recession right now. What I am asking you for, though, is that for you to donate, if you can, anywhere between $5 and $10 to help my family. If you go onto the website, you can click a PayPal button and make a donation of your choice. If it's $1, 50 cents, it doesn't matter. We're asking from $5 to $10, and with approximately 200 churches donating, we could pay our debts, not be evicted, pay our water bill, and then get on track because my fiance now has the job. But right now we're behind, and that's the truth. We have a 2-month-old baby and a 4-year-old girl, and it's really hard to get by without any water, and it's really hard to go to sleep at night not knowing when we will be evicted. I have hope that some of you will help us. And if you can't donate the $5 or $10, I am asking you to please forward this message to your congregation, to your friends and family. I have the hope and faith that we can overcome this obstacle. There are many people who read my blog, many people who are in the same position as my family and I are in, and they are looking to me for some sort of solution and some sort of encouragement. There are many people who write me and say that they've tried the church, they've tried religious organizations for help, and they have received none. And I myself have tried today to receive nothing but being treated very rudely and being told that the churches that we've called only help their own members. Now, I have to admit there were a few people who were kind to us and told us that they just didn't have the money and they didn't have the resources, but if they did, they would help us. And that made me feel good. And as I prayed about the situation, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not really much of a religious person these days, but I do find myself thanking God every morning I wake up for my family. I do find myself being grateful every second of every day, though I don't go to church very often. This situation with being evicted and not having any water has caused me to define a mission in my life. And that mission is to help people who are just like me in the same situation that I'm in. I'm asking for your help for two reasons. The first is so that we can obviously get out of the financial troubles that we're in right now. The second is to somehow restore some hope, not just in myself, but in those people who have lost hope in the system, in the government, and sadly, in the Word and in the church. I see a lot of people, as we've been going around asking for help, in the gutter, in homeless shelters, and they've given up trying to go to church. They've given up trying to read the scriptures. They've given up even listening to anyone who is trying to tell them something good. And I'm a firm believer that these are the days and times that we should draw closer to God and good principles and living right. And that's my mission, to show people that they can overcome obstacles, to give people some hope in these days and times where there's very little hope. I would like to be an example for the people who are in the same position as I am in, to show them that with a little bit of faith and reaching out, they can get some help. I want to be the one to help them. I don't necessarily want your churches to be bombarded with financial requests. I do, I would like for them to go to church. I would like for people to go to church. And the reason why I made my blog public and my letter to you public is to show my readers and the people who have lost hope what your responses would be. I think that every organization, every church, every congregation can afford $5 to $10 to donate. And if we receive a surplus, that money will be given to other people who are just like me, who need the same exact type of help. We will not use your contributions to make ourselves rich. And all of this will be documented on my blog every single day. I would appreciate if you took the time to log on to my website followgrantslife.com and listen to my story. My story is no different than millions of Americans right now who actually have jobs and are struggling to keep a roof over their heads. Good people who work every day, who find it hard to find something to eat. I would like to help our people by, number one, being an example. Number two, giving them encouragement. And number three, being able to put food on their tables if they've exhausted every other means. To help them to pay their bills if they have exhausted every other means. And also to network with other churches and business owners who may have job openings and are willing to hire someone who is down on their luck. This has become my mission. This has become the focal point of my life. Excuse me. I feel so strongly about it because I'm going through it. And I must admit that when I was cutting hair and making money, I didn't really think twice about what would happen when I didn't have money. That's the truth. I've always given to churches, organizations, and to people in need whenever I had it and whenever they asked. And today I'm asking you for your help. I'm asking you to not only help me financially, but also to leave some comments on my blogs with scriptures, words of encouragement to get not only myself past this mountain, but my family and those who follow the blog. I've had many poor people write me and leave me responses or send me emails that told me if they could, they would help me. These are poor people who are willing to help. I'm asking you who may or may not have the means to help with $5 or $10. And if you can, to forward this message, this blog, to your friends and family so that somehow we can get help. This is my last ditch attempt. I have exhausted every other means to get help. And I refuse to believe that my faith will not be rewarded. So I have made myself vulnerable and put my pride to the side to ask for help for me, for my family, and for those whom the surplus would help. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen, taking the time for considering. And I also want to thank you in faith with the hope that you will contribute $5 or $10. And if you can't, to forward this message to someone who you think can help. And even if you can't do that, to leave some sort of encouraging word, not only for me and my family, but for the many people who follow my blog and follow my life. Thank you, and may God bless you.